My boss promoted my lazy coworker instead of me, so I handed my resignation quietly. His reaction was priceless. I've been working at this marketing agency for 3 years, busting my tail every single day. While my coworker Danny spent half his time on his phone playing games and taking 2-hour lunch breaks, I was staying late, covering his projects and basically doing the work of 2 people. Our team handles social media campaigns for restaurants and small businesses around town. Danny would show up at 10 a.m. with a coffee and immediately start scrolling through Instagram, claiming he was researching trends. Meanwhile, I'd already been there since 8 a.m. responding to client emails and fixing whatever mess he'd left from the day before. The breaking point came when our supervisor, Mike, announced he was leaving for another company. Everyone knew either Danny or I would get promoted to fill his spot. I figured it was obvious who deserved it. I brought in 3 new clients that quarter, increased engagement rates by 40% on our biggest account, and literally saved Danny's. But when he accidentally deleted an entire campaign 2 weeks before launch, I spent my entire weekend rebuilding it from scratch. Danny's biggest accomplishment that year was creating a TikTok that got 500 views. So, when our regional manager, Tom, called us both into his office on Friday afternoon, I was already mentally planning how I'd restructure the team and maybe finally get Danny to actually do his job. Tom sat behind his desk with a serious expression and goes, "I've made my decision about Mike's replacement." He looked back and forth between us like he was about to announce the winner of some reality show. "Danny, congratulations. You're our new team supervisor." I felt like someone had punched me in the stomach. Danny just grinned and said, "Awesome, man. Thanks for believing in me." Tom started explaining how Danny had natural leadership qualities and great people skills. I'm sitting there thinking, this guy can barely manage his own workload, and now he's supposed to manage other people. After Danny left the office floating on cloud 9, Tom turned to me and said, "Don't worry, you'll still be doing all the important work. Danny will handle the people stuff, and you can focus on what you're good at." Translation: Danny gets a title and a raise, but I still do all the actual work. That weekend, I spent 2 days updating my resume and applying for jobs. By Tuesday, I had 3 interviews lined up. By Friday, I had 2 job offers, both paying 30% more than what I was making. I accepted one of them and decided to handle my resignation as professionally as possible. No dramatic scenes, no burning bridges, just a simple resignation letter. Monday morning, I typed up my 2 weeks' notice and walked into Tom's office. He was on a conference call, so I just placed a letter on his desk and walked back to my cubicle. About 20 minutes later, I heard Tom's voice booming across the office. "What do you mean? You're resigning?" He came charging over to my desk with the letter in his hand, looking completely panicked. "You can't just leave like this. We need you. I found a better opportunity," I said calmly, not even looking up from my computer. 2 weeks' notice should be plenty of time to transition my projects. That's when the panic really set in. Tom started pacing around my desk like a caged animal. "What about the Morrison account, the restaurant chain campaign, the social media calendar for next month? Danny can handle all that. He's the supervisor now." Tom's face went white. We both knew Danny couldn't handle a grocery list, let alone manage major client accounts. "Look, maybe we can work something out. What if I gave you a raise, a better title?" I already accepted another position. For the next 2 hours, Tom kept coming back to my desk with increasingly desperate offers. A company car, extra vacation days, a corner office, even a higher salary than what Danny was making. But the funniest part was watching Danny slowly realize what was happening. As the day went on, and Tom kept frantically trying to convince me to stay, Danny started looking more and more nervous. By Wednesday, Danny was practically begging me not to quit. "Dude, I can't run this team by myself. I don't even know how to use half the software you guys work with. Maybe you should have thought about that before taking the promotion." I told him. My last day was pure comedy. Tom spent the entire morning in meetings with upper management, probably explaining how he was about to lose his most productive employee. Danny sat at his new supervisor desk, looking absolutely terrified every time a client called. Around lunchtime, the regional director showed up. I'd never seen this guy before, but apparently he'd driven 2 hours from the corporate office just to try to convince me to stay. He offered me Danny's position, a $15,000 raise and profit sharing. 3 months too late. I appreciate the offer, but I start my new job Monday. The best part was watching Danny's face when he realized they were offering me his promotion. The guy looked like he was about to cry. As I packed at my desk that afternoon, Tom came over one last time. "Are you absolutely sure there's nothing we can do to change your mind?" "You already made your decision, Tom. You promoted the guy who plays mobile games all day over the person who actually does the work." I heard through friends who still work there that the company lost 2 major clients within a month of me leaving. Danny lasted 6 weeks as supervisor before they demoted him back to his regular position. They had to hire 2 people to replace me, and both of them make more money than I was earning. Sometimes the best revenge is just walking away and watching everything fall apart without.